Have you ever felt stuck translating every thought from your native language into English? It slows you down and it leaves you frustrated, doesn't it? Especially at work, where everyone is working in a fast-paced business environment. But what if, and I'm saying what if you could think directly in English? So this is what this video is all about, to help you make that switch. And I share 5 great tips to start thinking in English so you can speak fluently and confidently in your business settings. So let's dive right in. Tip number 1, label your environment. Now, what do I mean by this? Start labeling objects around you in English. This simple practice can significantly enhance your vocabulary and help you associate English words with their meanings directly. Focus on your workspace. For example, label your laptop, your meeting room, your whiteboard, project files, office supplies. So when you see these labels throughout the day, your brain begins to recognize and think of them in English. For example, when you glance at your printer, for instance, instead of thinking about the word in your native language, you'll start thinking about tasks related to that printer in English, like, I need to print the quarterly report. You can even take it a step further by describing what you see. For instance, when you see a calendar, you might think, I have a meeting scheduled for Tuesday, or I need to follow up with my team for a meeting next week. This exercise really works by associating objects with thoughts and tasks in English. And this way you create a more immersive language environment. Engage in imaginary conversations in English. This technique is especially useful before a meeting or a presentation. Visualize discussing your ideas with your colleagues and think about how you would present your thoughts or respond to questions. For instance, if you're preparing for a client meeting, mentally rehearse your introduction. Think about saying something like this: Hello everyone, today I'm excited to share our new marketing strategy and how it can benefit your business. This practice helps you become more comfortable using business vocabulary in real-time situations. You can also consider a scenario where you're asked, for example, to share your perspective on a recent project. So instead of feeling anxious, you could visualize yourself saying, I believe our approach has been effective because we focused on customer feedback. Practicing these mental dialogues reduces anxiety and prepares you for actual real-life conversations. You can also do this with simpler tasks every day. It doesn't have to be something complicated. You can visualize, for example, what you have to do when you get up in the morning. So if possible, and you have a moment alone, try to also speak out loud, describe your day and say something like, okay, this is going to be a challenging day because I have so many tasks to complete. It seems nearly impossible that I'm going to get everything done. Let me prioritize. What do I want to do first? Maybe I want to start my day by checking my emails. Oh, and I also need to remember to call my dentist and book an appointment. And don't forget to pick up some milk and eggs before I go home. Now, this verbal visualization really helps your brain shift languages, and you will start thinking in English in no time. Why not also incorporate your English in your daily activities? A good idea is to change your device settings to English, whether it's your phone, your computer, or your social media. This simple switch immerses you in the language on a daily basis. So when you write your to-do list, do it in English, such as prepare for tomorrow's client meeting or send the project update email. This consistent exposure reinforces your thinking process in English, and you'll start associating daily tasks with English vocabulary, making it more natural over time. Let's also say that you're cooking dinner. Try to describe the steps in English to yourself. Like, first I need to chop the vegetables, then saute them in the pan. This way you're constantly thinking in English even when tasks are boring, not so interesting, which reinforces your language skills. Now, this is the most obvious point. Of course, practice English in real-life situations. That's quite obvious, right? Well, not everyone actually takes advantage of this opportunity, because I have many students who tell me that they avoid speaking in English at work because they fear that they will make mistakes. But if you don't practice the language, how will you improve? Yes, of course you can take some English lessons, for example, but not everybody can afford that option. So I'll say it one more time. Take every opportunity you can at work to speak English. If the task requires some preparation, take the time to prepare. If not, just jump into it, because most people prefer a confident colleague who voices their opinion and participates in conversation, even if they make a few mistakes, rather than a silent participant. This practice will not only improve your English, but will also boost your confidence and maybe even your career. Translation and language learning applications are a very fun way to practice your English. Set daily reminders to practice business-related vocabulary, and also try incorporating some business scenarios into your practices. Focus on phrases in meetings, for example, or that you use in negotiations, making your learning more relevant. You can also explore specific modules that align with your professional interests, ensuring that you're learning vocabulary that you will actually use at work. And remember, making mistakes is part of the learning process. Don't be afraid to stumble over words or phrases when you're thinking or you're speaking in English. Each mistake is an opportunity to learn and to improve your skills. So instead of feeling discouraged every time you make a mistake, embrace this process and keep on practicing. Be persistent. It's a brilliant idea to also reward your progress, no matter how small that may be. Set achievable goals and celebrate when you reach them. For example, if you successfully label your environment for a week, treat yourself to something you really enjoy. This positive kind of reinforcement will keep you motivated, which is very important when learning a new language, and especially when you're trying to shift your brain into thinking in English. So, which tip will you try first? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips on mastering your business English skills. Have a great day, and I'll see you in our next lesson.